Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Shelby, and I want to talk about the different books that I've read in January. If you know me, you know I love books, and I figured might as well talk about them. I finished off 5 books this month. Some of them I did like on Audible, others I actually read, but I have the hard copies for all of them because if I'm using Audible and something sticks out to me, then I like to go in the book and underline it, because then I'm processing what they're saying a lot more. So this first book is Rest, and it says when you get more done, why you get more done when you work less. And I really liked this book. I did audiobook it. I felt like it talked about like how you need to take breaks in between doing a lot of work, and I have a hard time doing that. Generally I just work straight, don't take any breaks, and then I'm exhausted by the end. So I really liked that it said like do 4 hours of work and then take like a half hour walk, do 3 hours of work and then sit down and just breathe for 20 minutes, or just different things to recenter yourself. And also like that rest is important. Like you're not going to work as well if you're worn down and tired. So I really liked that book. That was the first book that I started off the year with. A great way to start off my year with reading this one. And then this one was my next book that I read. It's Don't Quit: The Best Things in Ministry Come Over Time. I actually bought this book a couple years ago with one of my friends when we were doing ministry together, and we both thought that it was very interesting. A lot of it didn't necessarily apply to my life now because I'm in a different type of ministry, but I was able to pull things from it and think I'm going to be able to use it as like an office staff person. Yeah, it's there's definitely things that I will be able to use in the future as life continues. I did read this one. I didn't use Audible. But yeah, it's from Orange Books, which Orange is a curriculum for like next generation ministry. So like preschool on up to high school, and they have some young adult curriculum too. I really liked it. I probably, next time I'm in like a ministry position, I would probably read this again, and I would recommend it to anyone in ministry because it is encouraging to like read that others have went through the same stuff as you, of like on Monday wanting to quit but don't, because just because you had a bad weekend doesn't mean you're not doing ministry right. Just because you're having a bad season doesn't mean what you're doing isn't fulfilling the kingdom and moving things forward. Yeah, I really liked this. And then the next one, I did this one on Audible again. It's Moment Maker by Carlos Whitaker, and I've read a couple of his other books, and it says you can live your life or it will live you. And I thought this was interesting to do on Audible right after I did Rest, and yeah, it was good. There was a lot of good things that he had to say with like how to make sure that you're not just living each day just continuing to do the same thing, that you need to actively make sure that each moment counts. Each moment you're doing something to fulfill you and to fulfill your calling and to fulfill who and whose you are. So I really like that because it's something that, like, since I've stepped down from student ministry, I hadn't really thought about of like each day you need to be intentional. It's more of been like, okay, Monday through Friday I'm gonna go to work and do the normal thing, and then Saturday and Sunday I'm gonna rest and breathe. But no, it's each moment counts for something, so make it count. So I really liked it. It was actually, this one might have been my favorite book this month. so I would definitely suggest this to anyone that's kind of just living and feeling like blah, like they don't know what they're doing, or they're not feeling like their life has purpose. I would probably read this one instead of listen to it. I think in the future I will go back and actually read through it instead of listen to it on Audible. The next book that I finished, I read, and this one is The Road Back to You, an Enneagram Journey to Self-Discovery. This was good. I read it. I am an Enneagram 9, so I mainly wanted to just see like what they had to say about a 9, and it hit a lot of things for me, and it was good. It taught me like, okay, I am not alone in thinking this. Other people think the same way as me. Other 9s think the same way as me. And it was cool I'd kind of been teetering on like which wing I am. And so, like it really hit that like I am a wing 1. And so I read through the 1 Enneagram, and the 8 Enneagram, like the whole thing, to kind of confirm which one I was, not just reading the little simple like 9 wing 1, 9 wing 8. Like I actually read the whole chapter about them. I kind of skimmed the other chapters. I want to get more into the Enneagram, but I'm not fully there yet. I just kind of want to some more self-discovery. But quite a few of my friends are 6s, and so I read the 6th chapter, and I don't know, it gave me like a new perspective of who they are in their lives. I also have a couple 7 friends, and so I wanted to read that chapter to like look into more of like how their brain works, because they're more of the ones that like want to go out and experience the world, and my Enneagram is more of like the peacemaker, like that's actually what we're called the peacemaker, but it's that like you want to keep the peace, you don't want to argue, and you want to just like, if you feel like you've been in a tense situation, you tend to like be sloth and just like want to chill, not want to do anything. And so that really like, it spoke to me on how to get out of kind of the sloth thought. And so yeah, I like this. I think that in the future I would probably read it again, just because I would want to know more of like my connection with other Enneagram types, but just because I'm just getting into being interested into this. And then the next book I read was Becoming More Than a Good Bible Study Girl by Lisa TerKeurst. I've read other of her books and I've really liked them. I did not really enjoy this one that much, honestly. It was alright. I probably would not read it again. It just kind of was like, it talked about her life and like operating in like God's love and stuff, which like, yes, operate in God's love, please operate in God's love. But it was more of like, okay, we're not just gonna sit in the pew on Sunday morning, like put action to it. But she didn't necessarily talk about like how, which I get, like each person's different, but still like, how do you put action to the things you're saying? Yeah, it was all right. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to anyone, unless if like it's on your bookshelf and you haven't read it, then totally read it. But I wouldn't say like, oh, run out and go get this book. But my favorite book of the month is Moment Maker. And if you need a book to read, go read this one and let me know what you think. Yeah, so those are the 5 that I read this month. February is a shorter month and I have a few longer books for February, so I don't know how many books I will have to talk about for next month, but yeah, hopefully I have a couple of these. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Bye.